with the Blazers, and now he's going to be under a contract for multiple years moving forward. They have gone 22-18 the second half of the year. They've had a top 5 defense, a top 3 transition defense team during that span since January 19th, and he has really developed a lot of their younger players. Danny Avdija, Shannon Sharpe, Scoot Henderson. There's been a lot of great player development there in Portland. Now they have a sense of clarity moving forward on Chauncey Billups. He was going to be very, very well sought after if he did make it to the open market. This was the final guaranteed year of his deal.
Such a great story. His transition from player to coach is really inspiring. And I know you have a conversation coming up with Pistons star Cade Cunningham on NBA Countdown at noon Eastern, so really looking forward to seeing that. With you on Sportscenter, the Warriors are monitoring Steph Curry's health after he aggravated a right thumb injury Friday night, banging his thumb in the first quarter of their win over Portland. He played in the second and the third quarters. He did sit out the fourth. Golden State was up pretty big at that point. He's going to be much needed against the Clippers today. The winner gets a top 6 spot in the West and gets to avoid the play-in. He's all over at senior NBA insider Shams Charania joins us now with the latest. So obviously they need Steph feeling as good as possible this afternoon. What can you share about Golden State's treatment on that thumb since he re-aggravated the injury?
And the good news is that x-rays showed there's no fracture in that thumb, but this is the same injury that he's been dealing with since January. He aggravated it the other night in Portland, and this is going to be a lot about playing through pain for Stephen Curry. I'm told the Warriors are going to work to loosen and get mobility in that thumb. They're taking this game very seriously. This is a make or break game for them to get into the playoffs. I would expect a great level of seriousness from him, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green. It's obvious that Stephen Curry is going to be dealing with a level of pain in that thumb, but he vowed the other night that he's going to play, and I think that's his plan. That's the expectation around the Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors are favored by 4.5. That line is changing just a little bit. And obviously, as you well know, they could use some rest. They could use to avoid that play-in. That game's at 3:30 Eastern right here on ESPN. There's also a couple of other injuries that we're monitoring. Okay, so we have Jaylen Brown with that troublesome right knee. We also have that very frightening blood clot that Damian Lillard is dealing with in his right calf. So if you could, just get us up to speed on each one of those guys as we're getting ready to start the playoffs, and start with Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, starting with Jaylen Brown here, Hannah, he underwent pain-killing injections in his troublesome right knee, as Ramona Shelburne with ESPN reported here for us. And the full expectation is that Jaylen Brown will be ready for the playoffs. He's been dealing with a bone bruise in his knee for weeks now. He just has not been able to get it healed. But last year's MVP will have a week of rest before the playoffs. Damian Lillard, on the other hand, March 18th, he's been sidelined since that point. But there is optimism, I'm told, that he's going to be cleared at some point before the playoffs. Doctors believe that he is progressing with that blood clot, that blood clot is shrinking by the day in his calf. He's going to have weekly doctor meetings. So there's another one coming up this week that will be very key to see whether he's going to be able to make it back for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that is really, really frightening. So we wish him well. He'll just have to take as much time as possible. You know, Shams, I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. I'm sure you really haven't seen anything like these coaching changes this late in the season, what we saw in Memphis. Welcome back to SportsCenter. Today is the finale for the NBA's regular season. Can you believe it? And still so much to settle in the West. A Timberwolves win over the Jazz means Minnesota would avoid the play-in. And good news for them, they do have Anthony Edwards today. After all, after Friday's technical that would have resulted in a suspension was rescinded. The Nuggets are in Houston today. They can clinch a top 6 seed with a win. They can also do so with a loss from either the Warriors or the Timberwolves, which brings us to this. The Warriors hosting the Clippers on ESPN. Golden State can be the 6th seed with a win or a Minnesota loss. If the Clippers win, they clinch a playoff spot, while the Warriors fall into the play-in. Now, this game is so big that we have 2 gentlemen here joining us on their birthday. Quinn Richardson and Anscape senior writer Davis Dennis Jr. We just figured out it was David and Q's birthday in the commercial break. So first of all, happy birthday to both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much. Happy birthday, Q. My birthday twin. We're doing it together.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Happy B-Day, bro.
There you go. We got a couple of Aries breaking this down. All right, Q. Let's make it worth it since you're here celebrating your birthday with us. Let's talk about Steph and that thumb. You're a shooter. Tell me what you're going to be looking for in this game early on.
Yeah, Hannah, I'm gonna be straight from the get out. I'll be interested to see if he has it taped, because that'll tell me how bad it really is, if it's still hurting that much, or if he feels that he needs to protect it. If he doesn't have tape on it, I'll assume that he's feeling great and he's not even thinking about it. But for me, I mean, if he has to tape it, I'm nowhere near the shooter that Steph Curry is, or nowhere I wasn't. But I hated to have anything on my hands, any type of tape or anything that was unnatural. I didn't like to wear finger sleeves or anything. I wanted to feel the ball natural and how that touch with the ball. So I'll be interested to see if he has it taped, because I think that could affect it. But with him, who knows? He's the greatest shooter ever. It may mean nothing with the tape or without it.
Right. I mean, Q, by the way, I mean, nobody is the kind of shooter that Steph is, so you don't even have to qualify that, my friend. Okay, but let's say he's not at 100%. And even if he is, there is just so much at stake here, David, for the Warriors. What are they going to need from playoff Jimmy?
Yeah, so even if Steph is 100%, the thing that Tyronn Lue and that Clippers team, what he does is he always wants to take out that first option. Steph is going to be seeing double teams all game, which means that this is playoff Jimmy time. I know the playoffs don't technically start, but this is time for playoff Jimmy. And what I want to see is aggressiveness, especially in the paint. Zubac is a defensive monster for that Clippers team. They have the second best half-court defense. Jimmy Butler has to penetrate that defense, get to the paint, and get to the free throw line. The last two games, he's had 28 free throws in these last two games. That is the type of productivity we need from Jimmy, because that'll unlock that Warriors offense against a very, very stingy Clippers defense.
Yeah, and let's go on the other side with the Clippers offensively. They are rolling, as we've seen as of late. Kawhi Leonard is healthy, and he is just killing it. Even Draymond Green was saying he just looks incredible right now. What must he bring to the table today, Q?
They need Kawhi to be who he's been. This whole stretch, he just won Player of the Week, averaging about 26-some points. He's averaging 21 for the season, but they need him to be the aggressive Kawhi. This is the best he's looked in a stretch where he's been healthy, out there playing. And the thing about him is he looks like he's at all-star level right now. If this was a whole full season, he would have been an all-star and possibly all-NBA playing at this level. And so that's the exciting thing for the Clippers. You don't want to force anything and put too much on this game. You keep the plan. Whatever they've been doing with Kawhi, stick straight to it and keep him available.
I would say I would go even a step further with that. You don't keep the plan. You play 40 minutes plus for your stars, because you cannot risk being in the play-in, but also you get a week break if you're not in that play-in. Kawhi Leonard, you want the healthiest Kawhi you could possibly have going into the playoffs. They need a break. Both teams do, but especially the Clippers and especially Kawhi. You have to go pedal to the metal for this game and give me the best Kawhi Leonard. I need 2019 NBA Finals.